Pennsylvania Dutch is kind of like the difference between Jewish and Hebrew. All right.
Okay, we'll save that for after the show because I don't
Yeah.
think I have enough time to get my head wrapped around that one. I know
Yeah.
growing up
I
in
mean,
Canada.
it starts with Quakers, then it goes to the Pennsylvania Dutch are a mix of Native Americans along with the Germanic people that settled there. That's how they became Pennsylvania Dutch.
Hmm.
Kinky.
I had a lot of Mennonite friends actually growing up in Canada, and uh, cousins actually too,
Yeah.
because through marriage. So um, good people, salt of the earth. Can't
Yeah.
really, all kidding aside. So yeah.
But I'm glad to come in tonight, and also happy to be with Roger and Sonia, who were the hosts of the Cafe Enigma. Yeah, and on Saturday nights now. So yeah, it's going to be a great show. They got a brand new bar. Uh, I guess Sonia's going to be the barista, and
Yeah.
Roger's just going to kind of like manage it.
I'm
What the hell are
just,
you talking
And
about?
yeah. I
that's how the
love it.
Cafe Enigma works. All right,
We're
Like a
just,
we
virtual
got the menu.
bar?
It's a coffee shop on air where people get together and they discuss history. Yeah, and Roger has the history. He puts it up on the menu, and we play a clip, and then we talk about it as we drink coffee or other beverages and have our little snacks, and everybody else gets to listen in. I did that show for 10 and a half years, and it was a real success. I did it on radio first, and then eventually I brought it into a video platform as well. So, you know, uh, the show evolved and got bigger over the years, and then I got tired of hosting because I don't like to host. All right, I don't like to edit my own voice.
Hmm.
So, and I do sound and production. That's what I love to do the most. And I don't mind coming in, and I kind of enjoy coming in this atmosphere as kind of like a guest and also a panelist and give my opinions about things. And it's really nice to be able to step back from doing the technical end. That's where I'm. That's where my love is, and I've been
Okay,
doing that for about 18 plus years.
that's right. Yeah, and
Yeah.
prior to that, a rather extensive period of time, serving in the military.
Yep. I did a stint, 15 plus years, almost 16.
You qualify for
Got a
a
medical.
pension with that
No.
sort of time
Well,
served,
I have medical pension basically is what I have.
right? I
All right.
see. Okay.
But I got the full disability out of it, so yeah. Um, as for work, I can't do that anymore because of the agreement I have with the government, and um, you know, and that also uh, this allows me from doing like other things like gaining profit, or actual making money any other way other than through them. Is how they kind of wrote my uh, disability agreement.
Yeah, and this is interesting too because
Yeah,
homeless vets,
everybody's different though.
right?
They're because when you have a lawyer that goes and does your uh, has to go to the
Ne-
boards and all that and
Negotiate,
declare
present your
this, that, and the
case,
other. Yeah, it's like having an agent in Hollywood. All right,
right?
they all have a different agreement, and sure, there's lots of similarities, but they're not the same.
This is all through the VA as
Yep,
well.
through the veterans. Yep.
Affairs, yeah, right. Okie dokie then. And yes, PTSD and homeless veterans, these issues I know are near and dear, something that I take quite seriously.
Yep. And
Having done now, what is it, 23 tours of duty here via South Korea, it can be a challenge at times,
Yeah, I
as
did
one can
11
imagine.
tours to the Middle East.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that didn't include Panama, which I was there during that. But
W-
you
w-
know, all my shows, no matter what, and all the shows that I go on, like yours, are all veteran uh, preferred. All right, we uh, we put
Treated
out
like they're treated like
we
not very
yeah
well, unfortunately.
we look to help the veterans, and if any kind of message, like for a public service announcement, I always give that priority over any other type of uh, you know PSA for breaks when we do our radio shows. So
Yeah.
yep.
All right. Well, we just got shut down over on Facebook. They're telling us that we've been sharing our show information a little too much. So,
Oh
uh,
well, yeah, that
it
happens sometimes.
it's we shared it maybe 7 times here. You know,
Yeah, and,
7
and
shares. So I don't. We'll just have
Still,
to.
you're still
We're
running
live.
strong, man.
yeah,
I got you on
it's
Kick, Twitch,
yeah. I'm going to
Rumble.
take that up. I'm going to take their same stance when it comes to Naroki.
Ha!
What's
Yeah.
that?
Big
What's that?
chat. I think we should all adopt the same policy for advertising, because I know you're there. I'm there. Uh, how often have I posted about my shows in any of your chats? Those
What do you
are,
mean exactly? In
yeah,
on
for
Teams?
advertising. Yeah, on Teams or
Uh,
anywhere.
I think
You know,
I've seen your content from time to time here and there.
but
I don't know. I can't.
it's not every time I'm up though.
Yeah, Naroki
Or
goes. I mean, that's the
yeah,
thing. I've definitely
and
dialed it down. Naroki is the king
yeah.
of. If see, the thing is, people will scream spam if you put like 2 posts up, right? Some people
Hmm.
will, and
I
then
will.
well, I would not. That's the thing. It's like whose standards? What qualifies as spam? You do it 2, maybe
Yeah.
3 times. Like you're spamming. It's like
Okay.
give me a break.
But the
You
thing
know.
is, okay, we're all in teams. We're all in same groups.
Right. Yeah.
If
So we all. Yeah.
if you really want to get out to people, send it to them individually,
Through
not to
email.
like 20 groups that have the same people in it.
Yeah. But
That's
Naroki will
just
not.
me. I
You could.
would
I
never
think.
do that.
I
I
think.
think that's bad ethics. But
But here's the
who
thing:
am
is
I?
like, well, I think people have talked to Naroki about this. Pretty sure I have, and that and other issues, and it's like talking to the wall. It's like it's just there's nothing, there's no
Well,
a
it
comprehension or appreciate
yeah.
recognition of like what it's like. Your views and opinions mean nothing. He's going to do what he wants to do, and I like Naroki. That's the thing
Yeah,
about it. I still
I
like the
like
guy,
him
but
too.
it's
Uh,
a little annoying with the
it's To me, it gets to the point where I get the notifications so much that I've thought about leaving certain groups, but then again, do I want to? Because some of them are kind of specialized, and I don't know if I'll get the invite back right away. And I don't want to go through all those hoops just because I get ton of notifications from that one person.
mhm.
But that's
Yeah,
just me.
everyone's got their own way of
Yeah, yeah.
looking at it,
That's why
obviously.
I
So,
try when I take
all
them.
right,
If I
and
put something out, hey, what do you got tonight? Anyways, I know you posted a lot of good stuff that I'm kind of interested in, especially about the Charlie Kirk stuff. We did a lot on that earlier this week. Like to see if what we can do
what
to
you
follow
mean,
up
like
on
as
that
far
for
as
you.
talking points?
Yeah,
Well, check out the talking points, and that's.
yeah,
I mean,
I did.
look at
I looked at
the
it.
promo splash photo that we have. What does that say?
I didn't see the splash photo, but I did get into the other
Well,
part. I
it's
like that. I like
well,
how
it's
you
like
did put out a lot of the.
look, any crime, you ask who benefits. A lot of really high profile, high level investigators don't seem to get this for some reason.
Hmm.
Interesting how that works. But cui bono? That's the first question you ask anytime. Who benefits? And motive, means, and opportunity. So, um, I mean, who do you think? Who do you? What are your thoughts? Any guesses? Was it just a lone nut assassin? I mean, even Bongino came out the other day saying that there's a wider conspiracy to this, and let's not forget just why was that as an example? Yeah, if you saw any of the highlights from what was pretty well documented, these what looked like baseball, see like hand signs, be flown all over the place, and who knows how to interpret those sort of things. But and the history of um, the shooter's history, of course, and who his father was, and who the kid was living with, and certain things that where he said that something to the effect like I'm being set up. I think he said that before the shooting as well. Some people are questioning whether, in fact, it was the same person on CCTV as the one that they took into custody. There's a lot of questions that do need to be asked, and you know, look, before I kind of share any more of my thoughts or take on things, and because there's been such a flurry of information, of course, and speculation, um, leave it, open it to the three of you and our listeners out there as well. Let's not forget, via the Peanut Gallery and Beyond Lurkers, be sure to sign in. Have your thoughts, comments, questions heard? What are your theories? Well, here we go. Like what in a slideshow. Israel knew Hamas's attack plan more than a year ago. Kirk actually talked about that, and he was getting a lot of Israeli money too, to the point where, just in the lead up to his killing, I think in the last just few weeks prior to his being murdered, that he, I suppose, politely turned down. Some might say is rebuffed too strong of a word. Netanyahu's offer to buy him off with even more, Israeli uh, shekels, essentially sponsorship to the tune of who knows how many millions, and that's what's kind of what they've done with Trump through, was it Adelson's Sheldon Adelson's widow, Miriam. That's a lot of money, and you can bet. I mean, to think that it's not, there's not a quid pro quo involved there that Trump is not aware of. That, yeah, he better deliver the goods and show that he's a friend, of Israel and their the broader vision that they have for the Middle East, or you know, it could very well end up being the next again. I mean, they've already tried to take him out twice, so with the very where the Ukraine figures prominently in both instances, of course, the Butler incident and what took place on I guess it was the golf course down in Mar-a-Lago. Is that right? So, but yeah, Kirk behind the scenes, even Tucker Carlson has come out talking about this, saying that behind the scenes, and Kirk and him were quite close, that he was not a big fan of Netanyahu personally, to put it mildly. So he thought that he was really just He was too much, frankly. And who knows what sort of he made him a deal that he couldn't refuse. He did, and may have lived to pay the price. So yeah, it's a complicated affair, though, isn't it? And the wolf covers its tracks. So, what are your thoughts? Everyone's gone silent.
Too many similarities between him and JFK.
Well, Israel, they played more of a central role in Kennedy's killing than what most
Then,
people have any
oh
idea.
yes, and the shooter, both shooters on top of a library. Come on now,
Huh.
it's the same damn playbook. I'm sorry, same playbook,
I think you can say
same
damn.
playbook.
You got one
Yeah.
complimentary F on. What is the shooting of Charlie Kirk, September 9th? This book that came out. Did anyone
Well,
follow that one up?
the two things happened during that day and the day after. All right. First thing that happened the day before that was there was a convention in Congress about disclosing UFO stuff. Okay, that could have came out on the 10th, but didn't because, and this could be the reason why. And then it's an also great cover for overshadowing 9/11. That's how I
Right.
look at it.
And why would that be? How would that play out then?
They
Because
don't.
you're
They
right. The
they
timing.
they don't want anything, especially the communist people up in New York now. They don't want these. They don't want people coming in. And remembering that they want to start their own new thing. Rewrite history over there, and
Well, I'm
but
sorry.
we've
You
talked to a
lost me.
lot of people.
The communist people in New York.
Yeah,
You've lost me.
they elected a communist mayor,
Oh,
so
he's elected now.
yeah, pretty much.
You're kidding. Well, I tell you what,
No,
we have someone here who's dropped in via New York. He asked that we connect with him here at the bottom of the hour. We're a little late in doing that, but things have worked out. Whatever the case. So, hey, Robert, thanks for connecting. Has New York elected a communist mayor, or is that still yet to be seen? Curtis Sliwa, he's a candidate. I'm not sure what his chances are of coming out on top are exactly, but what is he? The what do they call those? The vigilante type group, guardian angels of New
Yeah,
York.
they have guardian angels there.
Robert's muted out. In case you're wondering, Robert, in case you're talking, you're muted out. We're
He
assuming that he's there, but
probably is.
anyways,
He does that
right?
every once in a while.
Okay, all right. What happened there? Sonia dropped out for some
She
reason.
said she's got to go to the store. She'll be right back.
Oh, probably ran out of cigarettes. Damn.
She has this dude that keeps bringing her like 6 packs of beer and just leaving and shit. And then she causes me drunk,
Are you serious?
and then she wants to like have sex with me, make
Oh.
love to me, do the
Okay,
love
well.
making.
All right. Well, okay.
I keep telling
Keep
her.
that TMI. TMI.
Keep
Yeah.
telling her,
So-
I can't handle that
Especially with
stuff.
Robert here, he's sensitive to when things start to.
He said something about not being able to see something. I'll go in the chat and see what he said. I don't see my connection.
Well, he's here in the room, so maybe we have to kick him out again and invite him back, or I'm not sure.
Tell him to back out, come back in.
It's damn. That's odd. Yeah, well, this is the thing: is you call people here. Now you have to call them directly, and then sometimes
Okay, I got
There
the
he is.
connection
There he
now.
is. He's good. He's
There we
good.
go. Okay.
Oh, by the way, about Mandani, he won the primary election, and there's an election in November, and Curtis Lee was running, Eric Adams, the mayor, is running, and Cuomo is planning to run as an independent,
God.
and that may really mess up everything. But
How so?
well, it's going to be a four-way election, and what Mamdani is doing is he's calling 1 million, about 1 million Muslims, according to him, live in New York. So he's collecting all of them, or you know, getting the tribes together to
Sure.
vote en masse. The thing about Mamdani that I really don't like is I saw him giving a speech to a bunch of Muslims, and
Yeah.
he was wearing a red bandana covering his face, like a desperado in the Old West. We see them, they'd cover with a handkerchief.
Oh, like
So
a
he's his
bank
face,
robber.
or stagecoach robber.
Right.
So he says to them, I came to this country to remake this country in our image. And he's talking to Muslims. And now he's born in Uganda, and he is a Shia Muslim that believes in Sharia law.
Mm-hmm.
Sharia law is the kind that cuts off your hand for stealing, kills the wife for getting raped, or kills a woman for being raped. Sharia law, if a woman is raped, she has to produce 4 male witnesses that say it didn't happen.
Oh,
That's usually the gang that did it.
yeah.
And I would point out, with all these attacks, knife attacks in England, and the slaying of Irina Zarutska in Charlotte, the slashing the neck. The Quran calls on believers to kill unbelievers by stabbing them in the neck.
Right.
So that's what we're seeing. That's what I believe.
And it's interesting. We were just talking about that, you and I believe, last week, and then we have the killing of Kirk, where that seems to be exactly where the bullet penetrated. And on top of that, Zane Ivey, just shortly after, now Kirk was still alive, but Zane Ivey had drawn to my attention how just a few weeks prior, maybe a month or so at the most, I guess, had been in Seoul. And he'd actually asked whether or not I'd attended his talk or not. And as I mentioned to you yesterday, Robert, during the Morning Star report, that I really hadn't followed Kirk all that much. Actually, I'd heard his name quite a lot, but hadn't had a chance to pay all that much attention to the guy. I certainly will now go back and see what it was. Yeah.
So the world. I followed him.
Yeah.
I admired his ability to debate and to remain calm and not get angry at people. He was very, very courteous. You have to see his debate at Oxford, where he debated an Oxford professor who didn't know anything about South Africa or what it meant, kill the Boer meant. So yeah, it's a very sad affair.
Oh God.
As I was saying,
he prepared. Was he?
He's bringing the world together in a very amazing way. Last night before
holding
last,
vigils.
Yeah, Rolling Stones concert at Madison Square Garden with 20,000 people, and Mick Jagger stopped the show and asked for a moment of silence, and instantly 20,000 people just silent. And then he sang "God Bless America."
Well,
and I thought that's the kind of thing being released by this tragedy. A lot of good.
I fact checked that, Robert, and I couldn't find anything. I could not. I don't think the Stones are on tour. I think that's a different act. It must have been a different group, different act.
Well, Jeff, you always contradict me because you didn't read it, but I read it myself in MSNBC. Maybe they're blocking it in Korea. Maybe Canadians are not getting the news.
No,
I don't bullshit.
I'll search again. I think there may have been another artist. So because the Stones, I don't think they're on tour right now.
It said Mick Jagger. It had his picture.
Okay. It may have been. So just maybe Roger can see if he can find that link. I'd love it. It's a beautiful story, but.
Well, listen, I came on just to give you some brief news. I have a lot of editing to do, So I'm going to bail out, and you guys have a good show. Okay? Take care.
Oh, well, I don't think, yeah, Robert doesn't like it when it's just,
Quickie. I was a quickie.
well, he's kind of sensitive. He's very sensitive to anyone challenging
His mandate.
his authority. So find the link, please. I mean, find the link for me and for us, because I looked for it last night. I just couldn't find it. I'd
What-
love it if it were the case. It sounds like it's a beautiful story,
What was the
but
key?
they're not.
I will say this.
They're not on tour.
I will say this. On Wednesday, this Wednesday, tomorrow, at 6 p.m. Eastern, we are going to have Brent Hamachek on the Censorship Sucks Roundtable radio show, who's a regular monthly guest with us anyways. But Brent worked with Charlie Kirk.
Oh.
And he's the executive producer, executive associate, whatever, over at Turning Point. So, and Human Events. So you might want to check that out, and that might come to light in that show too, for where you can get the link for that.
For what exactly?
About Mick Jagger or whatever.
Well, it shouldn't be too hard.
If he
Madison Square Gardens, Rolling Stones, and the date. It should be right there. Nothing came up on YouTube for me. And from what I could see, they've been in the studio recording their latest album. They've got a new album coming out, 13 songs. They're old fuckers, all of them, like at least 80 years old now. They are planning to kick off another leg, heading out on a European tour to begin with. So look it up. I mean,
what was the date?
It's date for what?
Madison Square Garden.
Just recently, he said. Just
2025. Then we'll do that.
in the wake. This is September 2025. To go to Rolling Stones, the RollingStones.com homepage.
Google.
They're not even. I bet you $10.
Straight up on Google. First thing that comes out of that AI overview is the Rolling Stones do not have any scheduled shows at Madison Square Gardens or other venues in 2025. They canceled a potential tour for that year due to scheduling conflicts and are reportedly working on new material, hoping to schedule new dates for 2026.
Yeah. So, I mean, all he has to say, you think, a reasonable person is like, okay, I was wrong. I was mistaken. I think he's just, all he's doing, he's confusing the Stones with, it was some other group, some other act. Like, I think it might have been Jason Aldean or something, some other high profile artist, perhaps. There were other vigils in Canada, all over the world. Yes, Canada, really wonderful, different concerts and so forth, candlelight vigils and what have you. So, that's undeniable. But the Stones in Madison Square Gardens, and I've known Robert long enough that I did sense that if I dared suggest that, because I was curious about it when he brought that up on his show, the Morning Star Report, last night. So I went and looked into it, and I couldn't find anything. So it was just a little. It just didn't. I can't. It doesn't appear to have happened. I don't know where he got that information from, at all. So, anyways, moving along. And if somebody out there listening can find that information, we're more than happy to receive it, to read it, and to report on it. Not a problem. You know, I've really got no dog in this fight, no skin in the game. We're just here to, to report on world events, what's taking place via, wherever it is we happen to be based out of, each of us individually around the world, of course, whether Texas, Illinois, South Korea, Phoenix, New York, you name it, or just what we see occurring, via the interwebs, media in general. And that's always has to be taken with a grain of salt because of the way the media operates. Gatekeeping, setting the agenda, filtering, and spin. Those are some really important dynamics and characteristics to the way any media operates, even ours, as objective, neutral as we may want to be, that at times when it's not an editorial, just the facts that
Wu-Tang Clan performed on July the 16th.
No. This is after Kirk was killed.
Oh, okay.
So this would be September 10th or 11th.
Okay. Kali Uchis, Wolfpack, Dua Lipa, Eric Clapton. Eric Clapton. No, that's
Clapton.
Eric Clapton is going to be on the 19th. Sorry.
No. It's
yes.
not going to be.
Or September the 19th. Sorry.
Well, that's going to be. This
I
is
know.
who performed. So it sounds like he got, from his source, what he got kind of duped by whatever news source this
messed
was.
him up.
It's total fake news, and so
now the
Who, that's why I say it's a fact check, man.
The Who did one on August the 30th, and that's about
come on.
I'm just saying. I mean, like in that category, that's about
we just
it.
Do not care. Well, okay, that's great. The Who, yay.
Well, it's like this,
call
guys.
Me the Seeker.
We all do shows that do current events and things like that. But we're only as good as the information that we get in.
That's right.
And even if we can vet it, it doesn't mean that is on par and what really happened, because there are so many things, especially with how AI is now, with everyone having their own, agenda. Oh my God. I mean, it can be a real handful.
Yeah, I think it's a little bias confirmation
I'm glad I
on
don't
Robert's
really.
part.
I just produce, but I see the other side.
We would love to have Mick Jagger have done that. A lot of people, so it's like bias confirmation. Oh yeah, such a wonderful. But it does not sound like it took place, and that whatever source that he was privy to was total just nonsense. And that's why I say, like, God damn it, fact check, #fact check. And people sometimes don't like it. They don't like it. It's like, what do you mean fact? How dare you? How dare you? It's like, well, fact check. Like, really, come on, because we got to hold ourselves accountable. My reputation, I do, semi seriously take, look upon my reputation. Not sure about image necessarily. I'm, image be damned, but yeah, like, integrity, absolutely, yeah, integrity, 100%. So, all kidding aside,
I did find some interesting stuff here with Nancy, and we've been having a real good conversation when it comes to Kurt and Israel and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's put the brakes on that. Could we because this is going to take a while, and you know what? They're going to shut us down. We'll come back to that after the break, because they're gonna,
okay.
and you'll have first crack at it. Okay.
Cause yeah,
Right.
I mean,
Because what
I'm just saying. I mean, you were bringing that up, and like
yeah.
her and Vicky's been having some amazing freaking conversations about that stuff. So
Are you talking like Vixen's Vault?
yeah,
Right.
so
So, and that's one of the personalities, the people that Mark has over there in his stable of talent.
he's a
As
rebel.
things,
He's a rebel.
yeah.
Mark causes me trouble. He threatens to beat me if I don't do this show
Yeah.
correctly.
Rip Robert Redford, 89. This is the way we generally like to do things. Rip Robert Redford, 89 years of age. Uh, Charlie Kirk, of course, will come back more to that a little bit later. TMZ, and
Oh
these
God.
whoever these people are celebrating his death or anyone's, it's just not acceptable. Obviously, anyone's death. It's really not. So Fuentes goes scorched earth on, and I'm not a big fan of Nick Fuentes at all, really. Well, he just goes, he's too far sometimes. But the Kushner family, 666 Fifth Avenue. Guess who sleeps who sleeps in Jared's bed? Or I'm not sure. They're tight. They're tight. And Mr. Kushner, Felon Kushner, is, so the story goes now, America's ambassador to France. Is that right? So, good God, small world, huh? Serbia, keep an eye out for Serbia, what's going to take place there. There's talk astroturfing. Surprise, surprise. Is that Soros money or what exactly? Uh, the Open AI murder mystery is a suicide. Tucker Carlson had Sam Altman on his show. Altman's like, yeah, looked like a suicide to me. Right. Right. So, what else we got here? Blood on their hands. Ooh, that's never a good thing, is it? Oh yeah. Speaking of blood on their hands, the people that killed Charlie Kirk, blood on their hands. All these pro-Israel people. What are the pro-genocide, the in Gaza supporters? People that are cheerleading for just the ongoing anti-Semitic liquidation. By anti-Semitic, I mean anti-indigenous people of the region, Semitic liquidation, and definitely worth reflecting upon next time you put your children to bed. At least they have beds. That was the guy from Trigonometry. He was a crocodile tears. You could almost say. It's like, yes, just putting your children to bed. Yeah, well, at least they have one. So, homeless people going missing all over America. Can you say organ harvesting? Yeah, adrenochrome, you name it. Good God. Ex-president Brazil Bolsonaro. That's the way it goes, I guess. When you're out of power, then you're suddenly targeted. Charlotte stabbing, Aryan prison gang vowing revenge. Our account was locked on Facebook. It has been again. Canada's economy, yeah, fake popularity polls in support of Carney. Ipsos read. I mean, come on. They how much money do they need to buy off like these media outlets and polling companies and the like? There's quite a lot. It
It's just
seems,
like
and
it's like with that though too, and I keep hearing everybody talking about France collapsing and stuff, and I like give it a month before people start saying that crap. You know what I mean? It's like there's no evidence to show that all of a sudden, oh, France is at the end of its rope. It's ready to collapse.
it's another government. It's another government. It's pretty unstable. So,
I mean, how
anyways,
many
we'll see.
times did New Zealand go without a standing government? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, and then where did the prime minister go?
that's a good question.
She kind of just quietly. She resigned, actually.
Nobody
So
knows
maybe
where she's at.
will Macron resign, or only if his would you call her a wife exactly? Brigitte, does she qualify at this point? I'm not too sure, but slaps him around a little more.
Mm-hmm.
So for anyone who caught that that footage from a few weeks ago. Why Victorian? Or Sonia's bound to like this one. Victorian doctors gave women orgasms. This, I guess, was a routine thing back in the day. That they come in with it's. Oh, you have hysteria, dear. Let the doctor take care of things for you, and you can just imagine how that was addressed, how that went down. So this was a real. And how far have we come since that time? Where if you dare, it's a bridge you dare not cross. You couldn't do that. It's a doctor's ethics. You couldn't do that. But back in the day, what it's just bizarre. So, anyways, crypto, U.S. crypto, and the crypto scam. Essentially, it's Japan's new problem: zombie tobacco. Changes to U.S. visas. Of course, we had the Hyundai business last week. Here's some more fake news. Not in jail. Mike Wolf of American Pickers. He hasn't been arrested. That's just nonsense. It's widely reported. It's not true. So, and Pattaya in Thailand. That's apparently just been tanking as of late. Used to be party central. Not anymore. So, Trump's accuser, E. Jean Carroll, it was all just it was a trick, essentially, is what she said and copped to. As many, I think, realized, she was just the worst. I mean, seriously, you think with all those supermodels around him, beautiful women, that E. Jean Carroll, that's the best that he could do? I highly doubt it. So, Nepal and France. Yeah. So a lot of instability around the world. Let's, woo. Yeah. What we saw here via South Korea, the attempt to bring in martial law, not good, obviously, after especially having just finished, being made to endure several years of the COVID, the scamdemic. What a load of horse shit that was. Total fear porn, completely unjustified. But, great way for the, forces, interests out there driven by greed. Greed-driven interest. Manchurian Candidate, occult rejects. William Ramsey, Jefferson Morley, the ghost. Check that out. Jefferson Morley, the ghost. So,
Okay, give it a second and we will be up here in a minute. Actually I should be on D Live while this is going on, to be honest with you, but that way, whenever it cuts off, we got it covered. I hate D Live. Like, they really should make it to where it's everything's muted on default. Just especially when it comes to wanting to have decent streams. You don't want other people's stuff, popping in.
we'll be booting teams up here momentarily. Just bear with us. We'll cut away to commercial break. They've got this glyphosate spray, I guess. Unless this is fake news too, of course. But this is how the story goes. In Canada, this glyphosate spray that they're dumping on all just wide regions of Canada's forest, and what that ultimately leads to is a tinderbox type situation and scenario where everything is just it's set to go without much, just with the slightest little spark, and you can imagine what the impact on Canadian forests will be. So, yeah, exploiting tragedy, Glenn Greenwald. There's a lot of people that are all over this, very suspicious Netanyahu's behavior, his response, and the way of they say in politics, timing is everything. So, really odd, very peculiar, and trying to spin it, of course, too. Always spinning things, the controlling the narrative, the government, of course, doing the same thing from the highest levels on down. Oh, Charlie Kirk, yeah, well, sure. Now we've got to crack down even more on free speech wherever we can. So you thought you had a First Amendment, but not really, because if you say something that we decide qualifies as hate speech, then there will be severe repercussions. Just gonna add a little something. Shoot a link off here to the chat end of things over on both Restream and then, of course, Beam Studios. I'm not here. Good to see you. Connecting with us via D Live. It's already a tinderbox. This is just a cover. Okay, I'm not sure if that's in reference to Canada's forests or what exactly. Yeah, Stones reportedly shelved tour plans for 2025, including dates in the UK and Europe. Just did a search, can't find it anywhere. That's right. Well, Keith Richards is not in great shape, folks. From what my sense, my take on things. Okay, so just let's see where this goes. As far as his, not saying that he's on death's doorstep exactly. He's getting up there, obviously, but he just can't play as well as he did back in his prime. The last tour needed to have Ronnie Wood help him out with different chord changes, different the songs, old standards that they've been playing for quite a few years, the breaks and what goes where with the arrangement of the songs and so forth. So uh we're all here to go, aren't we? In Korea, they say Sengro Pyongsa. It's very Buddhistic, but most Koreans don't know that is just basic Buddhist, empirical, scientific way of looking at things. Sengro Pyongsa. Seng is birth, ro is grow. Same kind of word and idea. Growing, getting older. Ro, Sengro, Pyong, apuda, sick or hurt, and then sa is death. So you're born, you grow up, get older, you stub your toe, fall down, go to the hospital, etc., etc. Everything in life that brings you pain, and then you die. So, welcome to the world. And now, welcome to our commercial break, brought to you by Red Dragon Herbs and Teas. With any order of $25 or more, you will immediately receive a 10% discount. All you simply have to do is let Ryan know one of two things. Either simply pirate radio or pirate code. That's pirate radio or pirate code. Well, on the Cannabis Collective front, 5813 5813 is our essentially sign up referral link. Check it out. Take a look at their stock, their inventory. prices, quality of product, and so forth. Let us know what you think. 5813. We'll be back in just a flash here, folks. Don't touch that computer mouse or radio dial.
Medical cannabis is now legal by telemedicine. Get the medicine you need by getting reviewed for a medical cannabis card. Contactless appointments available at CannaSense.com. For as low as $39, you can get reviewed for a medical cannabis card. That's CannaSense.com for a licensed medical cannabis doctor review. CannaSense.com has all the information you need to get connected with a doctor for a $39 medical cannabis appointment. CannaSense.com. CannaSense is common sense.
Catering exclusively to the Des Moines, Iowa area and beyond. Red Dragon Herbs and Teas is a small, family-owned business dedicated to the creation of only the finest quality artisan herbal tea blends. Drawing upon many of the world's most richly established customs and traditions, Red Dragon Herb's mission is about more than just getting their products out to the market. They also strive to help educate their customers on the wider benefits, history, and folklore of all their plants. Of course, any seasoned pirate knows when they're fixin' to tango with the Kraken, you best be powered up with at least one of the finest select quality premium items, freely offered via Red Dragon Herbs and Teas wide inventory. Choosing from any of their caffeine-free, headache relief, or rest and relaxation blends, history has proven their products among the best sources of scurvy prevention and vitamin supplementation. Red Dragon Herbs and Teas, bringing you guaranteed homegrown health relief.
Red Dragon Herbs and Teas, bringing you guaranteed homegrown health relief. Welcome back, everybody, to the final segment, the back end of this week's live streaming edition. Show segment number 332, World Pirate Radio News. I myself, your host as always, the Robin
All
Hood,
right, I'm
Communications
back.
Officer.
Just in the process
Jaffe
of calling
Ryder,
up.
you've got to
Stand by
reconnect,
there. We have to
call
open up your
the gang
channel.
here once again.
Let's see if we can
See who's available.
technical end of things here. And well, we're calling Sonia. Yvonne out of Coquitlam. Hey, how are you?
Pretty good. Just give
Oh,
me a minute.
geez. Noisy as all hell, too.
Just a minute.
So, yeah. We'll just get you. We'll mute you out for now. And a lot of
Jaffe, I'll
just
be
getting
right
there.
back. I'm going to go grab some more coffee, but I'll be back in like 3 minutes.
Okie dokie. Alrighty. So yeah, the talking points essentially. Come again, Yvonne?
I'm hoping you're well. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're coming through just peachy actually, so sounding good. Last week we had that kind of fuzzy static, that was coming through your end from the start, and then you switched over. Are you using it's a snowball? Is that what they call it, or
Yeah.
snowball? It's great. It's great. It's wonderful.
Are you
Yeah.
hearing static at all?
No. It's fine. It was the headphones last week that was the setup you had. So yeah, but we saw that you're available. We thought we'd reach out, give you a call. So we've got Mark, Roger,
Good to see you all.
and Sonia back from the store. I'm not sure if it was a cigarette or a beer run. I'm not sure what exactly. Something or another, but she'll fill us on the details here eventually, I guess. Yvonne, you haven't had a chance to check out the talking points yet. we'll get set up a screen share as well. What's the latest via Canada itself? Canadian current events, politics, if you will. Any issues, stories that you'd like to draw to our listeners' attention? Maybe that have flown under the radar and not getting enough coverage.
Sure.
That they really,
Again,
the
just to
extent they really
remind people,
deserve.
I'm a counselor. If you want to meet up, first half hour is free. Website's harpo.ca. Contact me. Everything's confidential. It's been interesting with the USA. The USA has put out a lot of different laws about visiting the USA if you're Canadian. So they're making it a bit more difficult, and they actually have the right to look at your computers and, look at your phone and stuff, media, a social media page.
One more reason
And
not to travel. At least that's how I see it.
yeah, it's quite fascinating. So a lot of Canadians are kind of upset with that.
Well, just don't vote. We were talking about this earlier. The only way we really vote, forget about the ballot box. That's a rigged game more than anything. Unfortunately, I'm a little cynical. In case you haven't picked up on that yet, but we vote with our feet, our money, and our computer mice. So you've just done that tonight, for example. You've joined us, you voted with your computer mouse. You said, yeah, this is a reasonable fit for me. I'm down with this. Got a little time, and we can do this. Or, what we purchase, what we buy. It's economics. In economics class, they call it consumer sovereignty. And then, of course, our feet. It's like, well, we're not getting the service we want here at this restaurant. We prefer service with a smile. I think we'll go somewhere else and take care of business then. And we can also and then help work on spreading the word. That's why I guess platforms such as ours, as modest as they are, that it does help to create a bit of a buzz. Don't ever underestimate that. You're familiar with the butterfly in Beijing? What is that? Analogy, I guess, or did you know that one? You never heard that one, Yvonne? That story?
Well, there are two of them. I'm not sure which one you're referring to.
Not the dream.
Okay, so the butterfly flaps its wing in Beijing, causes a typhoon and tuk or something.
There you go. That's right. Or some medical miracle. Someone's life or many people's lives are saved. In a more positive note, right? That kind of deal. So,
Yeah.
and that's how karma works. Karma just means action. And I don't think we really fully understand the broader implications of even the smallest action, that what it ultimately entails, frankly. It's beyond our real truest comprehension. We can speculate, we can argue, we can assume, but no. So yeah. Anyways, so
one last thing. Yeah, the other week, Michelle and I, we sang and played at a Korean K kimchi festival near here. Yeah. We did a 45-minute set. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, good.
Walked around, really loud music, kimchi and everything, and I had culture shock. I was in Korea again.
I'm back in Korea. What the hell's going on here?
Oh my gosh. It was fun though.
Oh yeah, sure.
Had a lot of good musicians.
They're good, and of course, Koreans are pretty good at English. Whereas compared to other folks who maybe they emigrate and they don't make as much of an effort. But I think, well, the younger Koreans especially, they're kind of down with learning English.
Yeah, and say hi to Zane for me.
Well, he just did actually in the comments section. He gave us both a shout out. So
cool.
Right back at you, Zane. And we were just discussing him a short while
earlier, and this is maybe where we can segue and kind of dovetail back to Roger, what he had to say regarding the Kirk assassination. But Robert Morningstar and I believe it was Robert, we were talking about the carotid. It's a carotid is how it looks, carotid, but it's pronounced carotid, I guess, artery in our necks. Just in the lead up, speaking of, maybe foreshadowing, or the butterfly in Beijing, or the pirate live stream in Korea, a place where, well, and we were talking about the carotid artery, and what was it again? Oh yeah, the stabbing on the train, the madman, the guy who then, he was a black guy with, I guess he had dreads and the whole thing, but then he was on his phone saying, I got the white girl, and I think like that, like, I don't know what that was all about, who he was talking to or what have you. She had Black Lives Matter paraphernalia, is how the story goes. Hashtag fact check. You know, if you've heard it here once, you'll hear it here many times, folks. So please try not to get too offended if we throw that out there from time to time. Be prepared. Put your big boy boots on. Hashtag fact check. And so that was kind of ironic that she ended up getting stabbed right there in the carotid from behind, put up a heck of a fight, I guess is how the story goes. And he ended up getting just covered in a lot of her blood. And that's a story all in itself. But then just in the next day or so, Zane messaged me talking about Charlie Kirk and Seoul. And I guess this was just like a month or so, maybe prior to his being killed. It wasn't much more than that, frankly. Don't know if you heard about it or not, Yvonne. He was in Seoul, and one of the outstanding comments that really stuck in my mind is that, from his standpoint, yeah, he's like, South Korea is a lot safer. I feel a lot safer here than I do back in the States. He's walking around with his, I think one with his child, two children, and just enjoying. Little did he know the last few days, of his brief life. So, and we are all here to go. So yeah, those two connecting, the carotid and then Charlie Kirk in Seoul. And the fact, my response to Zane was, well, no, like I really haven't followed him that closely, but I'd be really interested in looking into this. I didn't attend, I didn't pay. Other people did. I think there's this like Seoul National University or something. Not sure what the ticket prices were, but there we go. So any comments? If not, let's hand it back over to Roger. Yvonne? You can raise your hand there too, like virtually or digitally. But go ahead. You're up, Yvonne.
With the Charlie Kirk thing, it's best if people kind of wait for evidence to come in. There's a lot of speculation right now, and and there are a lot of people throwing kind of like shit in the wind too. Stuff, really bizarre stories out
Like
there.
what?
Well, there's some people that think Israel had something to do with it.
There we go. Like Tucker Carlson.
That's
maybe?
one hypothesis. Who
Had
knows?
something to do with it. That's right.
I don't know. Charlie Kirk in the last couple months, I guess, he's changing his tune a bit about Israel.
Was he accepting their money?
Can I finish? Netanyahu offered him a shitload of money.
That's right.
And he turned it down.
That's
And
right.
he also when people talking about Gaza and Israel, he had more of a nuanced, complex answer. He wasn't so much pro-Israel, and a lot of Israelis took offense to that.
Huh.
Many in Israel they're very perfectionistic. You have to be 100% with them, balls to the wall. If there are any doubts, any questions, they really come down on you.
Uh-huh.
They'll even they'll like be defensive even if Israel does bad things. Like most people admit, yeah, I screwed up. They own it. But a lot of times Israel don't. And I said this before, I think, that the main problem with Gaza, the Palestinians, and Israel is they don't see the humanity in the other.
Mm-hmm.
And until they do, they're really going to have trouble getting out of this hell they've created.
Uh-huh.
That's what
You
I
know
think.
thank you. Well, yeah. So there are, as we've talked about here ourselves many times, just as a reminder, there's a lot of Jews who do not support Israel. There's a lot of and this is like living around the world. That's one of the reasons they're not in Israel. And Israel itself has been known to embark on and engage in terrorist activity historically in order to drive them back to Israel, or to this region that they've allotted, this ethno-nationalist state. It's there's just so much many Jews do not many Jews in Israel don't support Netanyahu, and here's where maybe it's nuanced or a little tricky, and from an outsider standpoint difficult to really get their head wrapped around. But so those who oppose Netanyahu are out marching, is it because of the humanity, the mass slaughter of Gazans, the indigenous Semites? Need I remind people, the actual the original longstanding habitants of that region? Or is it because that they want their hostages back? Or is it a little of a little of both? So I think you're right. Like in that sense, I think there's a lot out there. Just in following the media, that many of them want the hostages back. They don't really care that much about Gaza from a humanitarian standpoint, which is to many, with any shred of decency, obviously, and integrity, it's mind-boggling. But
Can I come back to you on that?
yeah, sure.
To me, both sides are in a terrible place. And in the Old Testament, in the book of Amos, chapter 5, it talks about mishpat, which is a sense of justice, balance. And if there's any injustice, it angers God. If anyone's being oppressed or treated terribly. So both sides have done horrible atrocities. It's not a holy war. Both sides have fucked up. Pardon my French.
Nope. There's the one F-bomb.
There's my one. Sorry. And, we need to recognize that we need to approach this very nuanced. It's very complex. And sure, we're going to get shot from both sides, but neither are right. And, until they see the humanity of their enemy, until they see the light of God in the other one, the Israelis seeing the Palestinians seeing the Israelis, see the light of God's image in them, and stop treating them like goyim, like cattle, or like they're inhuman, like many of the Palestinians treat the Israelis. So both need to come to terms and that they're special and they're made in God's image, and that God loves everybody, all people.
It is.
And so until they can come to that position, it's basically going to be hellish on all sides.
Gotcha. One of the
that's my take on it.
Well, and just to kind of add to that, or maybe just something to reflect upon and think about within the context of what you just laid out. I believe most of Israel's Zionist settlers, and especially many of the most rabid, extreme ones, they're non-religious. They're secular atheists. They don't believe in God. What the hell do they care? They're full of total venom. The worst, and from the Buddhist standpoint, they have this seething, their heart. What did Christ talk about? Their hearts are hard. Didn't he say that a few times in the New Testament? I think he did. And that's what we're looking at. So I think we're on the same page in that sense. I'm just adding that more to kind of flesh things out as a reminder that, and then we could maybe consult ChatGPT as a starter, or who knows, to get the numbers. Actually, the secular atheists, non-religious Jews, habitating Israel. And then, of course, there are those secular atheists who, they do have a heart, but whether in Israel or elsewhere. But I think if you are in Israel, it's not as likely, unfortunately. So it's a big problem, those secular atheists. I tell you, it really is.
Yeah.
But
well, there are many. My main hope and prayer is that Netanyahu gets impeached and thrown out of office. I think he's a fairly evil person.
A dangerous man.
Very dangerous.
He's
and anyways, the people in Gaza have done horrible things. People in Israel have done horrible things as well. And it's very complicated, and there's no easy answers.
Well, it's pretty that may be the case, but the fact remains it's Gaza that's being genocided right now, not Israel.
I don't know if I agree with that. You could be right. It's a
look at the numbers,
hypothesis.
Yvonne. Look at the numbers.
I don't know. It's hard to know who's telling the truth with the news. Both sides is propaganda. And so that's why, God only knows. And people will answer to God one day.
Well, which country has, for example, a lot more of its buildings still standing?
Well, that's fair. Okay. I'm just saying, though, that with the October 7th, many Jewish people, there are a lot of atrocities. And people wonder, was something allowed to happen? Because there's something very fishy about that.
How much more obvious does it have to be? Just because the Fox News doesn't admit to it or cop to it doesn't mean that it's not the truth. They're the gatekeepers.
Saying both sides are bad, and I'm not. I can't make it a holy war. I'm sorry.
They got to work. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So Roger, and thank you, Yvonne, very much. Harpo.ca, first 30 minutes are free. So if it was me and I was struggling or suffering in any major way, I would jump at this opportunity and see where it potentially led to. Even just that first complimentary 30 minutes, just the goodness of Yvonne.
Yeah, counseling or coaching. There's no obligation to continue if you don't want to. That's fine. As you wish.
And you can point people in a certain direction, like if they're seeking resources or anything that could help them with there is a sliding scale too that you offer, a sliding scale price. Is that not the case? The rates? Yeah, based on what I think that's great. We try to do the same thing here when it comes to certain things, just because we realize everyone's not.
We have a sliding scale. People pay a little bit, but
accounting gang violence. Great accounting gang violence.
It's what they can afford as well, in that sense.
Right.
So,
Okay, Roger, over to you. Thank you, Jolly Roger Hansen. We got to remember he's got that great pirate nickname, of course.
Oh yeah, I got that great nickname. It just gives me
Eat
great.
the mic, man. You're coming in kind of low
Well,
there.
I
Go
mean,
ahead.
I don't know how to eat the mic any
Get
higher.
closer to the mic, the computer.
Well, I keep telling you, it's my mic is plastic. It sticks out and it's plastic. It doesn't bend like yours does.
Hmm. You have a soft voice. You're really soft spoken.
I've got my voice up to 80 or 18 dB, just so you know, and it still does it. So
That's better. There you go. You're happening now. So,
Wow.
but you have a soft voice. Go ahead. So you're earlier before the break, you were going to say something about, and Yvonne made a great point here that we've all been hearing a lot about now, how Netanyahu, I guess, called Kirk. What was it? Just a week or two prior to his being shot? Just a short time
yeah,
before a lot of money.
well,
Deal that he couldn't refuse. Offer he couldn't, but he did.
well, the conversation that's been going on in our chat is about prior to the shooting and the assassination. Kirk had made statements about Israel, and that wasn't really too positive when it came to Israel, and that is what caused a lot of controversy there in the conversation. But another thing that we've been talking about that popped up is there was a speech that Netanyahu had made, and it seems to come off like kind of a threat to Nancy, where he made this thing, and he made this speech, and it said after Vance, I guess, said some stuff about Charlie Kirk's and how he felt threatened by Israel. Netanyahu came out and said some weird stuff about well, first he addressed the Democrat and Republican U.S. Congress, and what he said is he looked at everybody, or he looked out at the crowd, and he said to everybody, "But you do know you have cell phones, right?" And he says, "You have a cell phone here," and he said, "You're holding a piece of Israel right there. You know that, right?" And then he started making comments about cherry tomatoes. He said, "You guys like cherry tomatoes? That's a piece of Israel too." He says that came from Israel, and he started pointing out all of this stuff that frickin' Israel has contributed to the United States. He says, intelligence, that's us too. We actually know like 80% of your intelligence. That's how close they're embedded into the United States. And he says, he also mentioned weapons. He's like, yeah, your weapons, yeah, that's us too. So he's sitting there in this address to the Democrats and the Republicans in Congress, and he's telling them this stuff, and to her it felt like it was a threat. You can take it as you want to take it, but it would be an interesting video if you guys ever watched it. And after that, we were talking, or they were talking basically, and it got even more wound up, or not wound up, I would say, but
Cryptic is what it sounds like.
Yeah, it got really, really interested. Now, there's a lot of people who are going and saying that, well, two videos that were put out seems to be AI. The first one was the short video clip that they have with the gun, where the guy's running across the screen. He's supposed to have the gun. Then there was a
jumping off the roof.
Right. Now, that one was one of them, but then there was another one that came out that was kind of weird too, and that one had to do with his wife. Just after the assassination, his wife ended up putting a video up of Kirk with his little, with his baby, and it seemed weird that she had done that. You know what I mean? So that was something else.
Was it AI or what? Was that another AI videos that you're talking about then, or?
I kind of get the impression that that's what it was.
Okay.
But
I'll tell you something here that about his wife. She's a highly educated Jesuit asset, is what it seems. Received a very well, quality Jesuit education, smart lady. And I found that with her, it was really odd. What I found peculiar, it didn't show his face, but supposedly she was crying over his corpse at the funeral, I guess, memorial type service, and his hands were all discolored. I'm not sure if that's because you're pumped full of embalming fluid or what have you, but it was just, to me, it seemed like a little bit of, if you excuse the pun, overkill. And I'm not even sure if it was like why that was necessary, but disingenuous too. I sensed there was so it's just that feeling something was a little off there for sure. So now there have been people that have also said that, who's going to fill his shoes, right? So look no further than the grieving widow. She'll be bound clearly to step up and fill that void. And if she knows what's good for her, it seems, definitely play ball a little better with the likes of Netanyahu than what her late husband did, or else. So, but no, he was too honest. I think he was just too honest, and he had a little too much integrity, and I don't think he quite knew what had gotten himself into. The young age, 30, where he was, 30, 31, and they're just their total, that at that level of the people that you're rubbing shoulders with, and like they're sharks and killers, man. They're cutthroat psychopaths, really. And I don't think he was a psychopath. He was too good, for
I didn't realize exactly how much influence he had until just about 2 or 3 days ago. My nephew Cody had just started college, and my sister came in and she started talking about going to the lake with the kids, and I'm like, go to the lake with the kids, because it was one of those mornings, I wasn't thinking straight, and I asked her what the deal was, and she said that my nephew Cody had a pretty disturbing moment, and it's like it kind of got personal with me about it, because to be honest, I never really thought twice about Kirk, you know what I mean? But she said that Cody had gone to school and found out that that Kirk had passed away, and it hurt him real bad, And previous to that, all of it started coming up about him being shot, and I was checking out some old videos, and I mean, from what I seen, it looked like he was a pretty nice guy, but she started talking about and I found out he would go from college to college and talk to students, and he really cared about these students. And like, she was sitting there talking to me about it that morning, and she just busted out in tears. So I mean, for me,
I'm sorry, this was who?
This was my sister. My sister in my front room was
with Cody, your nephew.
Yeah, he wasn't there whenever it was being discussed, but like she was talking about it. So I mean, and I know if it affected my sister like that, then something it must have meant something. He was a pretty legitimate guy, but I've also been hearing a lot of other things too, especially from people who believe in who follow Q and QAnon and everything, where he might have been like a member of White Pride and stuff. So
yeah, it's a bit of a stretch. Let me get to the comments. I mean, you might be right, but let's show me the receipts.
Yeah.
So let's backing up here. A few of the comments we've got. We might as well bring them on screen. I guess at least we'll try to do that. The shooting of Charlie Kirk. Yeah, is there a book out there that goes by that title? Supposedly there is. But before we address that whole business, Zane Ivey, and welcome David Wilkes as well. Zane Ivey saying you're going to have a hard time getting the Talmudist following Jews to start believing that non-Jews, that's us, the Goy, Gentile, have lesser souls than they do. I think he's got it backwards there, because it's the Gentile Goy are no better than animals, basically. What is it, Goy? It means like a cow or something, doesn't it?
No, it was actually perverted. Goyim is actually the 12 tribes. That's the candle that they use.
Yeah,
and that's what it's all supposed to represent, and it just evolved until it became a racial slur.
I see. Okay, well, yeah, non-Jewish. It's not a great word or terms, I guess. So, if you're a Frankist, Sabbatean, Satanist, you don't give a crap about soul or no soul. That's right. Yeah, that's right. The governor of the Elohim is not who you think. Vatican translator Mauro Biglino and Paul Anthony Wallace. Yeah, the devil in the Vatican, is that right? Malachi Martin, back in the day, the old Art Bell days, and the shows where he'd appeared as a featured guest. So I thought it was interesting that Kirk brought the issue. It took 8 hours to respond not so long ago. 7, 6, hell of a long time. And to think that it wasn't an inside job and there wasn't a stand down order issued. I mean, really? I mean, yeah, like you can fool some of the people some of the time. But seriously, come on. This is the world's most sophisticated. What did you just say about Netanyahu bragging about military intelligence and technology and surveillance? They're the top world's number one most capable, but they just
let me point out something too. This was days after Kirk's assassination and Vance making his speech too, where he pointed out the fact that Kirk felt kind of threatened by Israel.
Vance said that?
Yeah.
You're kidding.
That's what I'm hearing.
No.
Yeah, it's public.
J.D. Vance, the vice president?
Yep.
Absolutely.
So I know that it's public, but that he actually acknowledged that's what I find hard to believe, because usually they just ignore these things and try to,
A lot of these people, man, really followed Kirk quite a bit. Now, Kirk, on another thing too, is Kirk didn't really take recognition. Like there, if Trump say would have offered him a position, there's a good chance he would have never taken it. You know what I mean?
Like a position in his cabinet?
Yeah. No, he had a lot of influence with these people, but it wasn't politically. You know what I mean? That he actually had a mission where he felt he was doing what he thought God wanted him to do, and it didn't have very much to do with politics.
Really?
Yeah. Very
Maybe
interesting guy. He really is.
He was, yeah. It's could ended up happening. However you choose to look at it. Sonia, we got you back. We got 20 minutes here. It looks like no guest this Friday night. I'm off, of course, to mark the 80th year birthday party. Quite a milestone here for the mother-in-law. So we're having to take.
That's cool.
Yeah. Great that I've got to cough up another $100. So, hey, one more reason for folks out there listening to think about, helping us out here, donating. Half of everything that you do goes directly back to charity, whether it's through the purchase of T-shirts or the PayPal or Patreon, which you can join for free, by the way, over on Patreon. So the digital tokens, I'm not sure if you're keeping an eye out over on DLive, but sometimes there are people who, such as, we've got to get, Reverend Jim and others, Roger here, and Svetlana, who I guess she kind of overdid things mistakenly last week.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Good work, Glitch. DLive glitches. We love them, don't we? So we've got to get some of the glitch credit back to her, but I think that can only be done when she's live streaming. If I'm
not sure.
Well, I'm pretty sure like it's only can be done when folks are live streaming. So we got to work that out somehow, one way or the other. But if you talk to her, do let her know. Anything else with the time that we've got here?
I heard that you guys, and this is what you just finished up talking about, Charlie Kirk, and I think Roger had said something about him being a white supremacist or something like that.
Well, however you want to frame it, I guess. Yeah, white nationalist.
Usually those guys are, I mean, because I used to hang out with all those dudes, and Charlie was definitely not that. They don't. First of all, they're not Christian, any of them. They're atheists, if anything.
They're pagan, I guess, aren't they?
It depends on. Usually, their god is like Hitler for the most part. They don't really believe in a god, kind of thing.
And
Aryan
Brotherhood.
Let me add to that. Let me say that again. That was actually the stuff that's been passed through QAnon, and I don't support QAnon or Q.
Right.
So I take what they
say. Even know that, then come on. Q has to know these.
Look up Operation Trust. You want to find out who QAnon, where they got their inspiration from. That would be a probably pretty good place to start. It's right all the way back to the Bolshevik Revolution. Operation Trust. But okay. What other guests do we have though coming up? There are quite a few that we've got.
Actually, right now there's no one actually committed, but we're looking at a few. There's the I forget his name at the moment, but he's the guy you referred me to on Facebook who for Halloween. That guy. And he's pretty excited about it, so I think he will book for Halloween. Yeah.
You're talking. Wait a minute. What about this Holzer lady that you had talked to her? Haven't heard back from her?
That has not went anywhere as of yet, so I'm not going to count on that. Yeah.
Don't worry about it then. So
Okay, so we're talking about the if you I'm not sure if you have the list handy or not, but he's the Bigfoot UFO guy out of Pennsylvania who was the
Let's see what
Kecksburg.
his
He's the
name
older fellow.
is. Jason McLeod?
No,
No,
I
you're
don't think
thinking
it's the
Stan
same guy.
Gordon.
I'm thinking Stan Gordon.
Nope,
That's right.
it's not Stan. Although I can try and shoot for him too here
You
soon,
haven't. You
but
haven't. I thought.
nope,
I thought Stan
not yet.
was. Yeah. No.
Bigfoot.
You know.
I have his
Bigfoot.
phone number.
Well, don't call him. But I heard through Gary
Well,
Anders.
oh my God.
I thought I heard. No, he's on Facebook.
Bigfoot.
I thought I heard.
Gary gave me his phone number, so there you go.
Oh, that's how the story goes then, I guess. Okay, but he's on Facebook too.
Philadelphia
Maybe I'll shoot
Bigfoot.
for Facebook. Yeah. The
Yeah.
darksiege.com guy is the guy for Halloween, most likely.
Dark Sage who?
Darksiege.com.
Siege, not Sage.
Yeah, he's an
And
author.
so is this is someone that has come across your radar?
Now, is he a Satanist?
I thought no. I thought you referred me to
Shucks.
him, Jeffy.
No, man. We are looking at the sign.
Yes,
Hang
yes.
on, Roger. Hang on, Roger.
This gets
We're looking
spooky,
for- now
dude. I'm
He's also a
spooked.
vocalist.
I'm spooked.
He's what, Sonia?
He's also a vocalist. Yeah.
What does that mean?
He
he's
sings.
A singer.
He's a singer. Okay.
He's into music, yes.
Oh, okay.
So neither one of you put him on the list, and he appeared on the list for Halloween.
Yeah, that is kind of that. Now that
It is.
that is.
That's
kinda freaky.
awesome,
Especially
dude.
for Halloween.
That is awesome.
Meant to be.
I'm surprised you haven't tried
Isn't
to
it?
get Nancy, the Wiccan Vixen, for Halloween.
Well, she's
Hey, that's
welcome.
not a
She's
bad
you know
idea.
what? She's welcome to join us as well. Reach out to her. Have them together.
Do you know
It's
what she
we
did
have
for me?
done. We do roundtable. We take the roundtable format for certain shows, as you guys know, not just the news. Certain feature shows. We're open to that.
Do you know what
Definitely.
you know what she did for me last Halloween? She went to a freaking haunted museum, set up a table, and put live stream on of the whole thing taking place for like 6 or 8 hours. She's awesome on Halloween.
Oh, she went to a haunted location and did this?
Yes.
Yeah, I am going to be streaming that again this year.
What?
Yes.
Anything happen?
No, that one it's so popular. All right, because especially on Halloween, they give like the whole town gets a tour. All right, so they'll have thousands of people in there, and it's the place that they go to every year for that. They take in they get all their funds from that night, basically. All right, and for the whole year. So Nancy goes in to help out because she knows all the people there, and she's been working with them forever. And last year, just like I did the Tampa Bay Comic-Con through her, we restreamed. I streamed her on all the video platforms. I didn't do it on the radio side, just the video platforms for her to get it out. And so most of it was her and Raphael sitting there, with brochures and telling people, about paranormal and things like that, and about the shows and that she does, and that we were streaming there. So, and because she's kind of on like their committee in that, we automatically got permission to take and stream it. So if you guys want to restream it that night through me, that's fine too. I'm all for that, unless you have a plan on that night.
Yeah, we usually try to come up with something fresh and in the moment, but I mean, Roger might want to do something like that if the invitation is there. So why not?
I interviewed her.
This stream is going to be like super long. I even get up and walk away while they have their own cameras on them. I come back, while I'm eating, and I'll ask them questions about how the guests and that are and all that, and be like. But other than that, it's a live event, and I think it's called the Schrader House. I'll send you the file for the advertisement for it, and after we're done tonight, okay?
No,
Sounds
no.
good.
Because there's a
What I,
video for it.
what
you
I
know,
did,
where
what
they
I
walk
did
through
is
the
I,
house.
I actually set up an interview with Nancy for Summer Todd last year, and like I was there with her, hung out with her on the stream, and talked. But then when it come time for Summer to do her show, freaking Summer came on, did an interview. It was tight. I mean, it was awesome. Nancy loves that stuff. Like when she's sitting there freaking having to or doing that stuff and somebody's interviewing her, man, she loves it. I'm telling you, it was awesome.
So we've got 15 minutes. We got 15 minutes left here, folks. And, just one more time, is there anything, the talking points that we did prepare that really jumps out at you? I think we've covered enough Charlie Kirk this go around, and
Sonia is actually a topic that we need to discuss.
Robert Redford. No, after the show, you can save all that for later.
I mean, this is good stuff.
After the show,
she is actually getting into being what was it? It was co-host. Yeah, she's
submissive bondage dominatrix. I know where your mind goes with these things, Roger.
She's being a co-host with Cafe Enigma, and she's going to have some interesting stuff concerning consciousness.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and believe it or not, Jaffe, it has nothing to do with Roger talking about baby oil.
Not today.
It doesn't.
Not
It
today.
doesn't.
Oh my God. Well, that's
Crazy, huh?
that's refreshing. Yeah. So
Refreshing,
Rob,
yeah.
once again, just a reminder: Robert Redford, 89 years of age, passed away. Under what set of circumstances? No idea. Whether it was just natural causes or what have you. And what speaking of earlier, the Aryan prison gangs vowing revenge, regarding what took place in Charlotte, the Charlotte stabbing, young Ukrainian girl on the train. Homeless people all over America going missing. We'll say it again here, folks, going missing. And it's really odd and peculiar. In fact, Brian Kilmeade, Robert brought this up via the Morning Star report last night. And, it's the point now where Kilmeade is advocating going out and just against people's will if they don't submit to what the state essentially is dictating, kind of like the guy in the picture there you see with the that dictatorship business, whether under the swastika or the hammer and sickle. Who really cares? What does it matter when it comes to individual rights? But yeah, lethally injecting people out on the streets, kind of in line with how they're running the operation there up in the clown world, Canada. Carney's clown world, Canada. So the South Park, just seen a shot there of the kind of satire, their satirical take on Charlie Kirk, and a little over the top, I guess. Because Kirk was not he was not a firebrand. He was not someone who really you would see pounding his fist on the pulpit or yelling at people all that often. He seemed to be a lot more sort of soft-spoken, clear thought, clear thinking type reasonable individual who was just very good. He scared people, not from the standpoint of physical intimidation, but just simply more in the way of how he was able to, more often than not, come up with a better argument and way of seeing things than perhaps what they had initially. Just looking at a slide there a few moments ago, the ostrich farm out of Edgewood, British Columbia, just not too far from Vernon, if people are interested, Vernon, BC. And that's going to the Supreme Court. Speaking of, communist clown world Canada, can you believe that these jerks still, they're doubling down in wanting to euthanize, to cull, and yeah, it's not a coincidence that sounds so much like the word kill, but to cull, or cultivate, to cull and do away with what is something around close to 400 ostriches there out of British Columbia. So utterly insane, as is this genocide in Gaza, which finally, just the other day, I guess the UN came out and, as if, for those who hadn't quite, clued in to the fact already that there is a genocide that's been taking place in Gaza now for some time, and that people need to be held to account. One of the reasons why, if Netanyahu loses power, he's got to double down, starting with October 7th. The inside job that it was. I mean, how could it not have been an inside job? That's really the question. How could it not have been? Fox News doesn't seem to get it. None of the big corporate media seems to get it. Charlie Kirk, with the platform that he had, reaching a lot of people, he seemed to, who knows when he actually did get it, but he made it, clear to his listeners that, well, yeah, by the way, it does, an inside job is whether, and then he tried to kind of wiggle around and frame it in a way so that, well, not saying that Bibi Netanyahu necessarily had anything to do with it directly, but there was a stand down order given, and maybe people around him had sort of decided that this would be the way that they would proceed with things, and it was all done a year in advance. They've been following the preparation for the attack with hang gliders and the whole thing, bulldozers and what have you, for at least a year. The Hannibal Directive as well too, folks. Why was that the young people's, oh yes, the poor ravers, oh, crocodile tears, oh, slaughtered, yeah, by the Israeli attack helicopters. The venue itself had just been moved a short time prior. I think within just a few, maybe it was a few days or a week, not too long prior. It was really quite, a lot of people thought it to be quite peculiar and inconvenience and dangerous too, because of the proximity to, Gaza. But they went ahead with things, whatever the case, and the rest is history. The Hannibal Directive, though, if people haven't looked into that, that gives, and this is something that Kirk himself, I don't think we ever heard him touch upon, or address, but it's out there. It's all part of the public record, and Israel is willing to sacrifice its own. The ends justify the means. Why do you think not only that those ravers were cut down, murdered mercilessly, in cold blood, and then they tried to shift the blame, try to say that, oh, it was the Hamas people that were coming in, when really, I guess they were targeting, the Hamas were targeting military targets, not civilians. Military targets. That's how the story goes. The hostages, meanwhile, now in Gaza, that's just that's a total dog and pony show too. If Netanyahu and his radical, extreme right-wing Likud supporters that are all part of the current ruling coalition, if they really wanted those hostages back so badly, why are they bombing? Why are they continuing to bomb the hell out of Gaza? Relentlessly. So, what's wrong with this picture? The Hannibal Directive. Yeah. And more. But look, very little time here. Very little time. And so many more stories to get to. Bolsonaro, 27 years in prison via Brazil, social media, the locking our fake book accounts, shadow banning continuing. Not a surprise there. Basically the way that throttling down our people's reach, not just ourselves, many, many others, of course, it's a hot issue. When's it going to stop, if ever? Taya empty. Oh, here's one for you, Sonia. Why Victorian doctors gave women orgasms. It's not something you like to investigate, look into?
Sure. Why not?
Exactly. Holy geez, look at we're almost out of time. GalacticFire.com. It was a normal thing back then for, definitely a very normal,
Right?
really, you're hysterical. Not a problem. Not a problem, dear. We have just the treatment and technique that for you here now. GalacticFire.com. 20
Yep.
seconds. My God.
GalacticFire.com. TEC.
There we go.
T-shirts galore.
Mark Drigas Productions. Of course, yes. And Roger Hansen. Thanks for helping out, everybody. And harpo.ca. Show segment. No show.
It's been fun.
It's been a blast. We'll have to do this again sometime. Hit me up with tags if you want to get in touch or
All right, so let me go ahead and change it over to the ending so that we can get the ending for this properly. And be good.
Drigas Productions, of course, yes, and Roger Hansen. Thanks for helping out, everybody, and harpo.ca. Show segment. No show.
It's been fun.
It's been a blast. We'll have to do this again sometime. Hit me up with tags if you want to get in touch, or email me too. Don't be strangers, y'all. So, and there we go. The end of the teams. It's interesting. It helps so that we don't drag things out. Extend things too much more than what we need to. I got responsibilities and tasks that need to be addressed here via our little pirate hideaway, of course. So Thursday tomorrow, more adult lessons coming up. Weekend once again, a big birthday event. No feature show. Not this week. Hopefully this will offer a little time for us to get the schedule straightened out and more of the folks out there. Paul David Carpenter, like wanting to come in and talk about AI. We got Stan Gordon, of course, Bigfoot, UFOs out of Pennsylvania and beyond. Gary Anderson. There's a whole host of people that definitely, are chomping at the bit, ready to go. It's just a question of getting everything, straightened out, penciled in, and schedules squared away. Exploiting tragedy. Well, he's a politician, scumbag politician. What do you expect? But, having said that, one more look here at the comments, of course. Charlie Kirk, Israel, who owns Ireland, Trump, and more. John Waters, Michael Yon, Michael Ferris, Coffee and a Mike. Not sure what Zane's getting at there exactly, but 10,000.3 subscribers. Okie dokie. What's going on here? It's a movie, gentlemen, says David Wilkes. Thanks for supporting us, David. Glad that we were able to put something together that you found worthwhile. Of course, your comments always well received, and that's what this is all about. It's an open format. People are free to unload and unpack whatever's on their minds, of course. Bottom line, and really the only prerequisite, just don't be a dick. Or don't be more of a dick than Jaffe already is. How about that? So if you supersede Jaffe's dickiness, there's a problem. I try not to be too much of an asshole, but hey. Kirk said, I'm a nationalist. I'm a Christian, but I'm not a Christian nationalist. Okay, that's interesting. So the two, I guess, being separate. So the nationalist from a political standpoint, Christian, and I think that's meaning that he was, the fact that we live in diversity, it's multicultural. We have to accommodate others. Like, we live in a multicultural society. Most of us, not so much here in Korea. That's a lot less the case than what it is in the West, interestingly. But these are the people in your neighborhood. In your neighborhood. In your neighborhood. These are the people in your neighborhood. They're the people that you meet when you're walking down the street. They're the people that you meet each day. So, yeah, gotta learn to work together. Peaceful coexistence. And because if we don't, then there's all sorts of problems that do arise. But, yeah, looking forward to reconnecting here. Hoping everybody once again did get something out of what we had to offer. Pirate One Radio at protonmail.com is the main email address. I've got my own personal one, of course, the real _ Jaffe Ryder at protonmail.com. If you're not willing or interested in reaching out and connecting with us through HQ, you can hit me up with a personal note, whatever happens to be on your mind. But yeah, the Pirate One Radio at protonmail.com. If you have any show suggestions or guest ideas in mind, also PayPal. That's what we have set up and running in conjunction with our PayPal account. The Boundless Authenticity Podcast. Hashtag BAP. We had been hoping to have him actually, Jaitan Satur, I believe, or Jehan Satur, host of the podcast, on board this past week. Just were not able to get his personal details passed on to us in time, you know. Our wires got crossed for whatever reason, and it took a while. I think it partly might have had to do with all the pictures that were sent, that because our main box is so full at present, that people could have ended up getting bounce backs. So I noticed Sonia hit us up on the Jaffe, the real Jaffe Rider email account, and that came through without too much trouble. But whatever the case, we'll manage to get it right here, hopefully without too much more difficulty next couple weeks or what have you. Hoping everyone, of course, enjoys the balance of the work week. Have a great weekend. Always appreciate your support in whatever form or fashion it takes. Liking, commenting, sharing, remembering to hit subscription notification buttons, passing word along to friends, family, and co-workers. If you can't pick up the swag or help us out through PayPal or other means, then that's the way to do it. On behalf of Captain Long John Sinclair and all the rest of the crew here down in Skullport Harbor, until we meet again via these high, often all too intrepid digital seas, I'm your host, as always, the show's Chief Communications Officer, Jaffe Rider, reminding you, ear to the ground, eyes to the sky. Tally-ho.